Are you tired of feeling tired? Are you struggling with vitality? Or does your body just not feel great? Join today's hosts Monique Bradley and registered naturopath Lynette Hill to talk about your health. It's Health Bites, bite-sized pieces of health and wellness information so you can own your health. Well, good evening and welcome to Health Bites. Tonight we are talking about hormones, and it's been a really big topic here at Health Bites because your hormones dictate virtually every part of your life, from your state of mind to your behaviour, your body shape, your eating habits, and even your reaction to stress. So it's essential that we don't ignore those little symptoms or those little niggles we might have thinking that something's up with our hormones or if something's off. Luckily, we have tonight on the YourFixTV couch health advocate, natural medicine practitioner and registered naturopath. This is Lynette Hill from My Remedy. Kia ora, Lynette.
Hello.
Nice to have you on the couch tonight.
Oh, it's good to be here again.
And we're up close and personal with everybody this evening to have a really open discussion about hormones. Now, whether you're watching on South Pacific College of Natural Medicine's page, My Remedy, Lynette Hill Naturopath page, YourFixTV, or if you're watching on Periscope tonight, big shout out to our Periscope followers. Feel free to ask questions, even if you're in our Health Bites group, send them on through because that's what we're here to do, to talk to you and answer your questions about your health. So, we're talking about hormones. Big topic.
It's a huge topic.
Don't cry.
I'm not going to cry. That would be far too hormonal.
But it seems that there are so many people living in a state where they don't feel great. They don't know what's going on. They go and get their bloods done and everything seems okay, and yet they still have unexpected weight gain. They're growing a beard, which is not nice on a woman, let's be fair.
No, not on a woman.
Men are starting to adopt a trainer bra.
Yes,
and it's not okay.
Man boobs.
Yeah. So when people are coming into your clinic, how do people know that something could be wrong with their hormones? What are the symptoms? What do you see?
Well, usually by the time someone comes into a clinic, they've been battling for quite some time. So they've often got, we've discussed the gut symptoms and the stress symptoms, but we're talking more into the hormonal things tonight. So people, women particularly, be having trouble with their periods. They may be really, really painful or irregular or, you know, just not right. And a lot of people, when I ask them about their general health, think their periods and their hormones are fine. It's not till I ask them questions that they'll realise, oh, whoops, that's actually not fine.
Or that's not normal.
Not normal. Just because everyone has it doesn't make it right.
It's like period pain, right? My understanding is that most people go through patches of having bad periods, but that's not normal.
You don't need, it doesn't need to be really, really painful and awful. So there are things that you can do. And we'll also have, you know, obviously menopause is really obvious. Something is changing. Things are becoming less and you're becoming hot and you're becoming evil and all sorts of things happen.
I must be in the menopause then.
Yeah, and men have issues with their hormones too. So we call it menopause when it's just maybe things changing, body shape. But also there are some serious things that can go wrong with men and testosterone and PSA levels and all sorts of things.
Okay.
So we get a wide range of.
So what are the key things that you see? So what are the key symptoms? So if you're watching tonight, some of these symptoms may resonate with you. That's why I thought let's go through the list of what to be aware of and perhaps what to seek help for. What are the symptoms?
The first thing would be bloating and pain, particularly around the cycle. So that is something that does not need to happen and can be looked after. Changes around the chin for a woman with acne, including on her body often. Or hair growth or hair thinning is something to look out for. Lumps in breasts, which you've had checked out that are not cancerous, absolutely, but lumpy breasts are important to look into. Excessive bleeding, lack of bleeding, oh gosh, all sorts of things. Lack of sleep, hot flushes. These are all things that can be helped.
Moody teenagers.
Yes.
Angry 6-year-olds or 4-year-olds who get that testosterone surge who are like, fight, I cut you. You know what I mean though, they're really aggressive.
Got the scars.
Yeah, really aggressive. I've seen it. I've worked with kids for 15 years professionally and I saw it as a performing arts teacher actually, the real change in behaviour around that age.
It's massive, isn't it?
It is, but is it normal?
Well, a lot of it is normal. So we all come into our hormones at a different age, but it's around about we get a hit. Obviously, when we're born, we have lots of growth happening. We get another little hit around 4 years old, and a lot of parents think their children have totally lost the plot and are not ready for school when they were 2 months ago. Around about 6 or 7. Obviously, puberty, now that can range from anywhere now, sadly, from 8 years old right through into 16.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, our sort of our normal's getting wider, which I think is
What's
sad.
the cause of that? Well, obviously, you can't say, but
there's so many things. Stress is a big one. Diet is a huge one. Pollutants in our food, so some of the chemicals and preservatives and the
hormones,
packagings. And some of our meats we know have got hormonal treatments to grow them really fast, but it seems to be growing us really fast.
Whoops.
So, and genetics as well. I mean, we're all blessed with our own genes.
So true. Yeah. Very true. Now, one of the key things, of course, when we think about hormone issues is we think things like fertility, we think menopause, we think mood swings, irritability. We also think feeling, you know, those mood swings where we have those blue days. Can potentially hormonal imbalances affect things or trigger things like depression, anxiety, stress, fatigue? Can that be a cause?
Well, sometimes people are on, we had a discussion another time about antidepressants, and a lot of people are saying, well, I'm on the antidepressant, but I still have these issues and this lowness. And when we talk to them, we may find out that it's really cyclic. Yeah. So it's actually, you know, you're pretty good most of the time, but around about the week before your period, you get body pain and you get, you know, you get really down and really blue. So that's where we'd be starting to think, is this actually not so much a depressed state, but a hormonal state?
Very interesting. So, okay, so in a situation like somebody who those blue days have kind of extended for a longer period of time, what happens, say, when they go to a doctor and they are diagnosed with depression? So they're given that label and they're given something, say, like a Prozac, which has the serotonin to, you know, give back the chemical. What if that's a hormonal imbalance?
Well, those people will generally be the ones that say, I feel a little bit less depressed as such, but I still don't feel bright and happy, and there's still something lacking. Because if it is that you're really, really low in estrogen, you're going to be crying. So, you know, the antidepressants will help to a certain point, and you must stay on medication if you're on them. Yes, of course. Because coming off them is a trial all in itself. But if there is still a real lacking of something, then we need to look further, and we need to do really good, extensive hormone tests to find out, you know, is the estrogen high? Is it low? What about progesterone? What's happening with testosterone? Yes. What's happening with the liver? I mean, if the liver is just loaded with garbage, are we even detoxifying our hormones?
Wow, didn't think of that.
Yeah, remember the liver.
Amazing, amazing. Now I can see that we've got people on all the streams tonight, and also a big shout out to our followers watching on Periscope this evening as well. Great to have you on board. Now, if you've got friends who perhaps are challenged with their hormones right now, and you'll know it, they may be suffering from adult acne, they may have said to you, oh, I don't feel like being intimate with my partner anymore, so they're really struggling with their libido, unexplained weight gain, fertility issues, perhaps your girlfriend's growing a moustache, let's be honest, or a beard, you know, it happens. Nausea, yes, of course, insomnia. If you've got friends in that position, just very kindly share the stream tonight and invite them to be part of the show, because if we can shed some light on something that may be troubling them, that's what this show is designed to do. We're here to help you talk through your options and your friends and your family's options as well. Perhaps they've experienced acne through or gestational diabetes, all that sort of thing through pregnancy. If you've got somebody in that position, please invite them to tonight's stream. Carefully. And if we can help, in a nice way, if we can help, that's what we're here to do. We do, however, have to share a disclaimer with you, just to let you know that we are not here to diagnose during the show. We can't diagnose, treat or cure any illness while we're broadcasting. What we are actually here to do is talk you through your options. So perhaps you've been to a doctor or a healthcare professional and you still haven't got the answers you're looking for. This is an open discussion to help you or your friends or your family with their health. So please feel free to send your questions and concerns through, and we're happy to help you out. And if we can't help you here, Lynette's more than happy to recommend a healthcare professional that may be able to help you on your way to finding optimal health and having that happen in your life. Raja Chetan, hello to you, has just said, good morning, ladies. By every passing episode, the show is becoming more interesting, informative, and gluing blokes here.
Oh,
gluing.
Brilliant.
We like it.
Yeah, stay glued.
Stay glued. Next week, Raja, we are talking about the menopause as well. So if you've got friends who might be struggling in their life a little bit, please invite them on. We love having men watching our show as well.
And just to get men discussing hormones, because they don't belong to women. They belong to humankind. So it'd be great to get more men on here. Also, if you know a little bit about what women and men are going through, it just helps you to be more understanding.
Now, on that point, we've actually got a screen graphic that we're going to share right now, which is the difference between estrogen and progesterone in the body. So we'll bring that screen graphic up for you guys right now so we can take a look. Here we go. Look at this, a very interesting diagram there. Raja's just asked, shall I tell my mum to watch your show? Absolutely, Raja. This is for every age and stage of your life. Lynette, talk us through this diagram. Okay, so estrogen is about building. So we're building things, and it's really important. We need it to do that. So building the uterine lining so that we can, you know, fall pregnant. Of course. And of course, progesterone helps us to put that little baby in there snug and keep it safe. So beautiful. So estrogen and progesterone should be really good friends, and when they're balanced, our whole hormonal outcome is in balance. So we don't want too much estrogen because that is inflammatory, and we don't want too much progesterone because too little progesterone because that is anti-inflammatory. Right, gotcha. So you can just sort of see there the sort of the hard and the soft hormones. Yeah. I love that. That's really amazing. So if somebody is higher in estrogen, just looking at that, what are the sort of effects that they're most likely to see, or that they might present to you in clinic? The main things is anything to do with inflammation. So you might see an increase in body size and particular parts of a woman. There may be increase in tissues. So we might have fibroids, which we're going to talk about. Really, some people have got some fairly nasty things like endometriosis. We're going to see changes to how you can control your blood sugar levels. There's lots of increased risk when, so we're going to see lots more inflammatory issues going on. Okay. And for women who are really low in progesterone, it seems to be more of the emotional side of things. So people come in and go, I got no mojo. It's gone. Oh, wow. It's gone. Haven't got it. Wow. Don't want it. Don't care. And there's, you know, just not that energy and zest. And so progesterone makes you feel young and lovely. We like that. We like young and lovely. That's so fantastic. We get the angry one come in and we get the sad one come in. We don't want that at all. Okay, so I understand that. This is all about balance. Now, if you've just joined the stream, welcome. I'm Monique Bradley. We're here at the YourFixTV studio. This is Lynette Hill, an advocate for natural medicine and a registered naturopath from My Remedy, here to talk to you about your health options when it comes to balancing your hormones. I read a great quote somewhere that said, I used to be a lot of fun till my hormones decided to do something different. So, you know, which is so true. So true. Blame your hormones. They're so true. Now, we have a Facebook group for this show, and the Facebook group is called Health Bites. All you need to do is search. There you go. You can just search for Health Bites in your search engine on Facebook and you'll be able to find us. Now, you can join that group and you can actually speak directly with health professionals in there. We have over 200 people in that group who are very keen to share what's going on in their life, or if something during our shows has resonated with them. And it seems that hormones has been a little bit of a tricky one for people, but we have had some great questions come in from that group when I first posted out about the topic. So here comes Facebook question number 1. And this came in from Karen, who said, when it comes to hormones, how do you get rid of them? Lol, seriously. So this is her words. I want to know everything about affecting mood. At nearly 50, I can have like 4 seasons or moods in a day. Very aware of it and have to watch how you handle it, or don't handle things. Lol. How do you deal with that, Lynette? Thank you, Karen, for your question.
Thank you, Karen. So absolutely, that is that hormonal storm, and it is 4 seasons in one day as far as your moods are concerned. You can just have a little bit of stress and suddenly you're having a hot flush and you've got like zero ability to cope. So that would be suggesting that maybe the liver's getting a little bit overworked.
Yes.
Maybe estrogen's not being cleared so well, because when you stop having periods, which starts happening, and I hope I don't meet you in the street, Karen, because with all these moods, I don't know what's going to happen. But if you are struggling to clear out the rubbish with a monthly period, those toxins can build a little bit at the liver for a while until your body adjusts and gets over it and everything realigns. So you actually have to almost learn again how to deal with estrogen and progesterone. And so if we're really flat because we've just had enough, we might get too much adrenaline and then we're just anxious, and it's really quite messed up. So how you deal with it is, Karen, you know where we are, come and see us and we'll have a look at what's going on, work it out, see what what you might be doing that might be making it better or worse. Looking at some herbs that might just calm the farm down a little bit.
I love that.
And if we get really stuck, if there's that many seasons, we might look at something like, the Dutch testing or really good blood test to work out
so that's great.
What Karen needs.
I love that. Now, Heidi Spearman just said, I have endometriosis. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Heidi, we're going to actually talk about that tonight and hopefully shed a little bit of light on there for you. And Bridget Jackson just said, such an important topic to discuss.
It is.
I totally agree. Thanks, Bridget. Share it. Invite all your friends, especially if they're going through a little bit of a hot flush right now. It would be great to have them. Raja Chetan just said, I really appreciate your efforts here, but I was wondering if something for men should also be discussed. I'm sure we men have some hormones. Next week, Raja.
Yeah. We have a man coming here, Mike, who most of you have met already, and he's going to be talking about men, coming from a men's perspective, and I'll be chiming in because I can't help myself.
Excellent. We've got a whole bunch of people watching on Periscope tonight. If you are watching on Periscope and you've got any questions about what we're talking about, please send your questions through, or if you're watching on Facebook as well, send them on through. We love hearing from you. Patsy Paxton, some of my contemporaries are on HRT. Is there a natural alternative?
Yes.
That's a good question.
Yes. Yeah. So there's HRT, and then there's bioidentical hormones, and then there are levels. It's a bit like the ladder, and then there are herbs that can promote, say, more progesterone or simmer down the estrogen. So as a naturopath, what I look at is why. I mean, if you are a certain age, menopause is normal. It's just it doesn't need to be awful. So once we know the liver is sorted, the diet and the lifestyle is pretty good. If someone's totally flat with progesterone, they do have options, and HRT is one of them. Bioidentical hormones is another, and you need to go to a specialist type of clinic for that, which I can share some information of where to go. Or the safe option to start with is looking at herbs that might regulate those hormones, and I always think that's a good place to start before bounding on to.
Start, isn't
That's right, because our body spent all this time trying to work out, right, I'm just about at menopause. That means I have to, slow production of this down and lift this and slow that, and then you go and bang in these hormones, and you've just got this solid level again. So it means you're kind of a bit stuck there. And then often what we'll find with sort of hormones that are popped in, same as the pill, at a regular level, the body can still be trying to adjust to balance things out. So they need to be looked after very carefully.
Amazing. Very, very good question there.
Thanks, Patsy.
Nick Hill said, stream sounds great. Thank you to Mr. Peter Ward, who is behind the camera. He's our producer, who's doing all the technical tonight. Thanks, Pete. Congratulations. Zaya Sajid Libra just said, what is the treatment of loss in libido in females after 39 years of age?
So that is, again, we're not diagnosing anything, but what I'd be doing is getting along to a specialist or a doctor or a naturopath who's able to check your progesterone levels particularly, and all 3 forms of estrogen, also looking at your liver. So hopefully you can find someone who is going to take a holistic look at you and can work out what's high, what's low, do you need any help with something. I do have to say that as a naturopath or a medical herbalist, that's the sort of thing that we like to do, is we actually don't want to just give you something and go, oh, it sounds like you've got low progesterone, so I'm going to give you this.
Right.
We like to work out, you know, is that okay at this age and stage? Is there something we can do to make that a bit easier? Is it just not okay? Do you need to go to a specialist? You know, is there something else going on? Is there something that's competing for that progesterone? So there's no quick sort of answer.
It's like a giant jigsaw puzzle.
It is. Do you know what it's like? It's like someone gives you a box of puzzles, you know, puzzle pieces.
Yes.
And they forgot to put the picture on top. So it's like, I've got a bit of an idea what this could be based on, on the puzzle pieces. Then they've put some puzzles in from another box by mistake and left some of your ones out, and you've got to somehow
piece it all
get
together.
the answer.
That's just hard work, hard work. All right, we've got another Facebook question just come in. This is actually from Tracy Marie Huia, my lovely friend Tracy, who said, how the heck do others cope with the M word?
The M word.
The M word when it comes to hormones, M word hormones, menopause, menstrual and male. A big question there from Tracy.
I love these really wide open questions.
Oh, that's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Well, menopause, like I say, I mean, I've actually been going through menopause since I was 39, so that's quite a few years, and I won't tell you how many. And a few of you may have noticed that I often go, I've got it here now, red. This is a hot flush. This is what I do, and I do this every time I'm under these lights or I'm stressed, talking to people about hormones. So the M word, menopause, that is a real tough one. I actually feel like I've coped quite well with it, but I've got lots of tools in my kit. Some people don't cope very well at all. Go and ask somebody who helped you with menopause. Get a referral. What was the second M word?
Menstrual.
Menstrual. That should not be so difficult. So if it is difficult, if your child is not entering into having periods, get that sorted out around about 14. Just make sure everything's going along nicely. If they're really awful, they don't need to be. So we need to find out why they're awful. It may be that this child has an inflammatory diet, doesn't drink any water and needs some magnesium. It could be really simple. Males, is that, how do we deal with males?
Yeah,
or?
I think maybe the menopause, which is what Raja may have been asking about last week, for next week.
Yeah, and you know what? I actually really, I really feel for some of my male patients. Some of them are dealing with treatment for prostate cancer, which is really tough. And they're given estrogen to sort of balance their testosterone. And then they actually start to experience some symptoms that we have. So they may have hot flushes and nausea, and they might have breast pain and tenderness. Yeah, and it's very, very, very hard on them. So that's a sort of an extreme condition for men, which I take really seriously, because you know that can be quite challenging to men. And men have the same issues as we do. They might fall in and out of love. They might have challenges with their emotions, their hormones rise and fall. They may not feel manly enough. They might feel too manly and need to sort that out. There's all sorts of issues. So hopefully Mike can just come from a male perspective, because only a man knows what it feels like in a man's skin.
That's true. Now next week we will have both a nutritionist, Amy the nutritionist.
Yeah, she's a naturopath.
She's a naturopath.
And she does work with nutrition and dietary plans.
And we've got Mike to speak from the man's perspective on health as well, and talk about the menopause. Now tonight we will be talking very briefly about polycystic ovaries. I hope I said that right.
Yes.
We're talking about your thyroid tonight. We're talking about endo. So if you've got friends who are really challenged with those conditions as well, please invite them to tonight's stream. Now we have one more question before we go to our quick video. And this question has come in from my lovely friend Rachel, who said, I want to know about ways to deal with hormonal symptoms or reactions. Food, vitamins and creams. What are your thoughts about that?
I like that. Food is so important. So food is one of the things that I always look at when someone is going through a hormonal challenge, because like I've sort of said, there are foods that can be quite inflammatory. So there's no sense continuing that diet and then trying to take something anti-inflammatory.
Of course.
So looking at the diet and the lifestyle and the habits around water and also, what was second? Food?
Food, Vitamins.
Yeah, that is important. So we actually start needing some help at this point usually. And, you know, a couple of things that spring to mind might be, well, magnesium. One thing that springs to mind, magnesium in the correct form can be really, really beneficial. Herbs that support the liver are really, really beneficial. So it's just looking at, is this just a hormonal imbalance, or is this because of something else? And if it's because of something else, like gut dysfunction or liver, you know, lack of detoxification and toxicity, we need to find out which pathway we're going down, and then we know what to put in, take out, and what to do about it.
Okay, so the third thing she asked about was creams. What are your thoughts on, you know, not the thyroid cream, but the progesterone cream?
So that was what I was talking with Patsy about just a moment ago. Sorry, swallowing my tongue. That's menopause. Everything's menopause.
Have a glass of water.
I will. So there are creams you can use, and some of them are like natural creams, and you know, I imagine that they're safer. However, again, it's like, is that actually what you need to just use a cream? Or is there something that we could do to turn things around, change things that you don't need the cream? So, you know, just be really cautious when someone says, oh, I used this cream and it got me better. And someone else will use it, and, you know, it might be progesterone, and that person feels awful.
Yes.
So it's be cautious.
Seek a professional first. That's the answer. Debbie Curtis has just asked, I have a friend who has started growing dark hair, hard, firm, single hairs under her chin, and seems to get more as the time goes on. Is this normal?
It actually, sadly, is normal. And it's one of those little, blessed little menopause symptoms. And again, it's just because our hormones are changing. So don't quote me on what that one is, but it's one of the hormones that is out of balance. And usually you just need to find somebody who's going to take care of you. Find a beauty therapist. However, if you've got too many of them too young, then that is more of a androgynous issue, which is the male hormones. So it is a part of menopause. Sadly.
Excellent. Kate's just asked, how about mega anxiety and you don't know what it is for us menopauses?
And so that can be like, when your progesterone drops, it can be like you're flying along in a plane and everything's sweet, and suddenly it drops, because menopause for some women, like me, it's just kind of been this insidious, gradual thing that I've got used to. But for some people, it's like, today, you're in menopause.
Wow.
Yeah, and so it's just like, you just dropped, and you haven't had any chance to get used to it. So you've lost all of that feel-good feeling, and you're suddenly in this new reality of, you know, anxiety, hot flushes, you know, everything someone says to you makes you cry.
Oh no!
You know, it's really tough. It's like going through puberty at the wrong time, because you've got all of life's stresses. Whereas when you go through puberty, you can just be snarly and slam the door and lie in the bedroom. You don't have to cook the dinner and clean the house.
Write poetry.
Yeah, so it's much harder to do puberty the second time round.
Gotcha. I love that though. It's nice. That's really nice. Now, if you are looking for some help, we do have the team at My Remedy, which is Lynette's practice here in Auckland, who are more than happy to help you out. In fact, we've got a quick video to share with you to show you a little bit about the team, what the areas of expertise are, and how they may be able to help.
Have you ever considered that symptoms are often the outward sign of something deeper and can just be the body's way of saying, help me? The great news is that even small changes from the inside out can affect your whole health outcome. So, are you ready to make positive changes? The team at My Remedy work with you to find solutions for optimal health and can help you with many health challenges. Their team of qualified and registered naturopaths are there to help with any health condition: gut health, skin conditions, adrenal fatigue and immune health, cardiovascular and men's health, and nutritional health. At My Remedy, they also have a registered homeopath and hypnotherapist who are there to help with the deepest challenges to your health, your beliefs, your fears, your habits and behaviours. So if you're ready to create better health for you and your family, try a different approach. Visit myremedy.co.nz or give them a call on 09486 2175. My Remedy. It's your remedy.
Well, if you've just joined us, I'm Monique Bradley. I'm here at the YourFixTV studio with wellness advocate, health advocate, natural medicine practitioner. I know, right?
Bigger and bigger.
Naturopath. This is Lynette Hill from My Remedy. Welcome, Lynette. We're talking about hormones.
We certainly are.
I love this topic. I have struggled. I struggled through my teen years. I know a lot of my friends really struggled with acne, which is of course hormonal related. Can't even say it. Now I've got a lot of friends who are now posting on Facebook about menopause. But my understanding is that hormonal imbalance is so much more than just menopause or puberty.
It is. I mean, puberty and menopause, we have to do that. And pregnancy, all of those changes, they're really normal. So as long as they are within control, you know, you expect a bit of a bumpy ride. But there are some people who've got, you know, hormonal disorders that are really disruptive to their life long term, and they're chronic.
So that's what we're going to talk to you about now. We've got some of the key hormonal challenges that have been shared in our Facebook group, which is called Health Bites. Make sure you find us there. Things that really affect people's lives. If you've got a chronic condition or perhaps you're not feeling great, do share your thoughts in that Facebook group because we're here to help. So some of the key topics that we're talking about tonight, I'll just grab my resource here, is this is going to be available in our Facebook group as a download, and it's got all of the key topics that we're going to talk about right now. Now, if anything resonates with you, if you've got a friend or a family member who may be suffering from one of these conditions, please share this stream with them because we're here to hopefully shine a little bit of light on something that can be really challenging for so many people. So first of all, let's talk about the first challenge, polycystic ovary syndrome. That is a big syndrome, and look at that image of that poor young lady. Yeah,
and so what I'm just wanting to highlight are what to look for if you have this syndrome, so that you might go and get some more help. So it's just a little bit of advice. So the polycystic ovary syndrome it's just an imbalance of the hormones. So you've gone more to those androgynous hormones, so your adrenaline, but also testosterone. And so they start to compete with your feminine hormones, your estrogen and your progesterone. So we start seeing things like acne as if you were a hormonal teenager, but it goes on and on. And so this is nasty acne, and it's often all around what we would call the bed area. It's often on the chest and the back. And it's, it's not nice. And there's also here. So there's often here, and it can be just fine here, so not like the big dark hairs that we're talking about with menopause, but really soft, lots and lots of hair,
like down,
and thinning hair. So you think of a male pattern baldness, and yet they still have their big booty beards. Not quite that bad. Also, there might be some soft down on the stomach and on the lower back. So these are there can be issues with weight, and also either really horrible periods or no periods. So if any of those symptoms, you know, something that you're struggling with, it's really important to go and see your doctor. You might need a scan to see if there are cysts there, and then you need to, there are options. There is surgery if things are bad, there is hormone therapies, but also as naturopaths we work in, as we do always, to go, what in your life is making this worse? What can we do to support this, and can we make those periods, you know, maybe turn up or be a bit less painful? Yeah, there's lots of things you can do.
Yeah, okay. So that's one of the big ones. And again, if you need help, seek help from a healthcare professional. We're just here to guide you in the right direction.
Let you know.
Now, one that I have heard a lot about in my life, because I've had several people tell me that I probably have this, and that's Hashimoto's Thyroiditis. I hope I've said that properly. We're going to bring that up on the screen. We don't have that on the screen. Whoopsie, Pete can't find it. That's okay.
I can talk into that.
Okay.
I mean, that's really important, and the reason I wanted to discuss it is that it's actually an autoimmune condition where the body actually turns on the thyroid. So it's a disease. And it's really important to rule that in or out when people might have, you know, the weight gain or the goiter, before people just start doing things like taking herbs, or taking iodine in large doses, that actually might be the last thing the thyroid needs. So again, you need to be going to a health professional and they need to physically check it.
Right.
They may scan it, there may be a biopsy, but you need to look at it.
I know, I'm just checking my own right now.
Everyone's suddenly
Check
doing
yourself,
it. Yeah.
everybody.
And it's really, really common. So you can have low or hypothyroid without this disease, but don't assume it. Go and get it checked out and find out what's going on. And like any single disease, it can always be assisted.
I'm still checking. So I've been in situations where I've had health practitioners come up to me because they've seen my neck and they've said, you need to go and have your thyroid checked. Have you been checked for Hashimoto's? And I always thought that was a brand of a car. So this is from losing about 40 kilos in weight. So I've had to explain that, and yeah, you can tell if your thyroid is not doing the right thing because it will be enlarged. It can affect your. I've researched it. It can affect your voice.
Neck. This is actually a low thyroid neck. So I have hypothyroid.
Okay.
And I have for many, many years, and I'll get this. It's quite a different swelling.
It is,
it's swelling that comes because of the thyroid, as opposed to sitting
loss.
there all the time. Yeah. So it's, but get it checked out. You know, I've had I'm the same. Every time I go to the doctor, they're strangling me, making sure I've got no nodules.
Excellent. Okay, so if you are symptoms of that, you'll probably be feeling unexplained weight gain with that one.
There can be weight gain and loss, just total changes in weight, changes in temperature, changes in mood, any major change, any swelling around the neck. If you're thinking, oh, I feel a little bit uncomfortable swallowing, just go and get it checked out. It's so simple. Yeah.
Right, the next health condition, so there it is, Hashimoto's thyroiditis.
And that shows you where the thyroid is nice and clearly.
And it looks a little bit like a funny butterfly, doesn't it?
It does, but it doesn't feel like one when it's choking you.
Oh, perfect. Excellent. Okay, so the next condition we're going to discuss very quickly, because I know this one has been a pain point for so many people.
Literally.
Just incredible. And that is endometriosis, a very, very unfortunately more common condition than I would like to hear. So what is that all about? My understanding from people I've spoken with is, extremely heavy periods. Some people are bedridden, they can't go to work. What are we actually talking about with endo?
This is a really terribly painful condition, and it's when you've got endometrial tissue. So endometrial tissue is meant to be in your womb, and it gets all inflamed and it comes away every month. So if you've got that through your bowel, or you've got that in your lungs, or you've got that in another tissue, you're experiencing that inflammation, that bleeding and that pain in other tissues. So in the bowel, it's quite serious because you're constantly bleeding, so you can be getting infections and lesions, and you can actually be losing quite a lot of iron, stores. And it's a really painful thing, and it's a condition that is, so it's a problem with estrogen and estrogen receptors and being in the wrong place and your body not clearing it. So yeah, it needs to be diagnosed. There's often surgery involved. But when someone has surgery, that's the time to come in and go, right, what do we know about this condition? It's an inflammatory condition, it's a hormonal condition. So what can we do to bring those estrogen levels down, to ensure clearance, to make sure that maybe that week before your period you are well hydrated, you've got good, good magnesium in there, maybe some really calming, and iron after your period. So really not just go, well, I've got this, because this is what a lot of people tend to do. Well, I've got it, I've got to live with it. It's like, yes, you do have to live with it, but it maybe doesn't need to be so hard. So there is a lot that can be done to make it a lot better. So definitely seek help.
Amazing. Sarah Diamond Broderick has just said, great information to know. Thank you, Sarah. And Heidi has just said it's debilitating.
Yeah, it totally is. And I was working with someone today who at 21, this person will be facing their 4th surgery. So it's a real problem for this person. And, get some help. Don't just try and do it yourself, because it's really distressing. Yeah, feel for you.
Okay, next condition that we're discussing is fibroids, and this is a term that I have heard so many people discuss. Is it just something I hear most women who experience it late 40s and their 50s, really struggling, end up having to have surgery for this condition. Tell us about what fibroids actually are and what people can do about that.
Okay, so they're sort of similar to fibrous cysts, and they're estrogen dominance again. So you've got estrogen turning up in parts of the body that it shouldn't. Instead of being cleared away, it becomes enclosed, and often the little fibroids are tiny, 10 cent piece size, and you really don't notice them. But sometimes they are large. So we've got women who might have 2 or 3 the size of an orange. Yeah, it's nasty.
Wow.
Women have been known to have pregnancy with fibroids. So they are called a tumour because they're a growth, but they're usually benign. We've got to watch it though. First of all, you need to know they're there. So if there's any pain or bleeding or something's just not right, go again,
and
get some tests done. Yeah, have a feel. The doctor should know what they're doing there to feel that. An ultrasound is going to show what's going on. And identifying them is important. And some people need surgery and are so grateful when they have surgery.
Yeah, life-changing.
Absolutely. But again, whatever was fanning that inflammation needs to be looked at so that you're not just back into the same old thing.
So obviously those fibroids are a result of something going on in the body, so you really want to look at the cause.
Yeah, and again, it's the estrogen question there. Some people have got fibroids and their bloods aren't showing high estrogen, so we need to be looking at how the liver might be cleaning things up. What else is going on? It's
very interesting.
It's complicated.
So a very, very good question come in from Heidi Spearman, who said, could endo be a main cause of miscarriage?
Oh, very much, because it's such a traumatic bleed, and really depending how much tissue there is. So that tissue is your tissues are very, very inflamed. You can actually have endometriosis in the fallopian tubes. Wow. So it can be quite dangerous, and you're often dealing with scarring and blockages. So unfortunately, it can be behind a lot of problems that we just don't know. And sometimes when people have surgery, they realise, oh gosh, look, she's got endometriosis as well. Oh, no wonder all that stuff is going on.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I hope that sheds a little bit of light on that for you, Heidi. Also tonight we've got one more condition we just want to touch on, and that's dysmenorrhea. Right.
That's a big word, isn't it?
It is a very big word, dysmenorrhea.
So that just means awful periods, awful. Heavy, clotty, painful, crampy, irregular. Something's not great, so it means that my period's not great. Now that's, for me, brilliant. Let's do something about it. Let's look at the diet, look at the lifestyle. Are you hydrated? Like I say,
yes.
What supplements might you need?
How much alcohol do you drink? Do you smoke?
Yeah, everything. How much stress?
I agree.
Relationships like, and is there grief involved? Is there something else behind that? So that is, and that is a really important thing to get sorted out, because like I say, it's not the best time of the month, but it shouldn't be, debilitating.
Too traumatic.
No.
Yes. Thank you so much. Heidi said yes, thank you so much. Now, Raja's just sent in a couple of questions. While he knows tonight is a big focus on women, because we're talking about men next week, he wants to know, firstly, is there any problem with hormones for men if a bloke has a higher sexual appetite? But then the second part of his question is, I know it's a very important episode for women, but one last question, does excessive testosterone in men, can that lead to prostate cancer?
Oh, well, does it lead to, it's high testosterone levels are as dangerous as high estrogen for a man. So yeah, we don't, I think we had the question last week about tribulus. Yes, and raising testosterone. You don't want to raise a hormone beyond what it should naturally do. So a lot of men want that high testosterone and that powerfulness in their body.
Especially if they're weight training, for example.
But it can be a risk for cancers and other things, just as high estrogen can be a risk for cancers. So next week, we're going to write all your questions down and we're going to give them all to Mike.
Or send them in. Watch again next week, Raja, and send your questions
in. We'll have a real focus for you, because it's really important. So make sure you're watching next week.
So there you go. Whether you've been challenged with acne, whether you've struggled with your fertility, heavy periods, perhaps you are experiencing bodily changes such as extra hair growth, man boobs, whatever, chances are your hormones may not be playing very nicely together, and we highly recommend that you do seek professional help. Now, you do have options. There are naturopaths all around the country, in fact all around the world, and here in New Zealand, one of the prime places that they actually do their training is a wonderful centre called the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine. They are based here in Auckland, and every year they have a huge number of graduates that come out that can assist you in your change if you are on your way to find optimal health in your own life. Now, you're one of the clinic supervisors there at the Power Clinic.
I am, and I'm really impressed with the students that are, you know, particularly in my group, but in the college, and they can do this sort of stuff.
Awesome.
This is what they're training and trained to do.
That's right. Now, they have a practice here in Auckland where you can go to their clinic and you can work with these students who are all supervised and helping you find your way to health. So we've got a quick video to show you, which shows you a little bit behind the scenes of Power Clinic. So let's take a look at the video right now.
Welcome to Power Clinic. I'm Robin Carruthers, the Clinic Director. The Power Clinic is a student clinic at the South Pacific College of Natural Medicine. We've got two main functions here. One is to give our students a really good educational experience. They're the ones who staff the clinic, and they are supervised by experienced practitioners, naturopaths and medical herbalists. Our other role, which is more important, is to provide the community with affordable natural health care. So we have free visits for under 6-year-old children and for people over 65, and our other adult normal fees are heavily subsidised. We see a whole range of people here at Power Clinic, people who've got just minor health complaints, who want to look at a wellness plan, right through to people who are on a range of medications and have quite serious health conditions. A lot of people think with natural health care that if you're taking medications, you can't go to a naturopath. But in fact, we're very careful to take that into account and to work around it and support people while they are taking medications that they need to take. So if this sounds like it might be of interest to you, please give us a call and we'll look forward to seeing you and to helping you on your health journey.
Well, there you go. So whether you want to visit one of the team at My Remedy, or perhaps you are based out in, it's Green Lane, isn't it?
Ellerslie.
Ellerslie, very close. And you want to head to see one of the up-and-coming practitioners at Power Clinic, do something now. If you've experienced any of the symptoms that we're talking about, get it sorted. And naturopathy is such a great place to start.
Absolutely.
So some great comments have come through. Bobby Joe White said, God, I'm going through this now, but with a bad thyroid and heading towards menopause, I've got no chance.
Oh, yes, you have.
Yes, you have, Bobby Joe.
You do. I mean, if you're in the area, if you're in Ellerslie, call into the Power Clinic and just talk to one of the students there and ask them what they do and how they can help you. Or if you can find, I don't know where you are, sorry, but wherever you are, there is someone who can help you. So word of mouth, get some referrals. Who did you go to? How did you get help? But please don't try and work this one out yourself.
Excellent. Now, Heidi Spearman just said, being a sufferer of endo, I'm actually looking forward to menopause.
Yes, absolutely. You just want it to be over and done with. And I don't know your age, but I'm really sad to hear that, because that just speaks to your suffering.
Yep, Heidi's the same age as me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bring on menopause.
Yeah.
definitely.
Jan Turley said, great topic. Thank you, Jan. We love to hear that, and we love your feedback. We believe it's a really important topic because, especially through the show and through putting together the Health Bites group here on Facebook. By the way, it's a free group that you can join as well. That group, we're hearing stories from people who are living with discomfort or not feeling great, and loss of libido, the hair growth, the the changes in the body, the weight gain or the weight loss, the cold extremities, you know,
and the pain,
and then on the flip side, the hot flushes.
Ugh.
You can throw your questions into that group. So if you have watched the show tonight and you don't feel comfortable sharing on the live stream, because we will give you a shout out if you ask a question, you can ask the group and share your questions in the group there. Now, Raja's just also said, spot on, I'm an avid viewer of this show. I'm not going to miss the next show. Thank you. Great. Raja, share it with all your friends.
Yeah. Get every man you know to watch next week.
Yep.
Every single man in New Zealand and in India.
And in India, that's right. And every woman you know as well, because, you know, whether it's menopause or menopause, it affects everyone. It affects the community, so we all need to get onto this discussion. Yes, Heidi just said I'm 44, so
okay.
There you go. Big changes ahead for you, my lovely lady friend. Well, what else do we have to talk about tonight? It's just about time to go.
Well, I think we've sort of discussed everything. So we've discussed men, which we were going to do next week.
Yes.
But also next week, I've got Amy coming back. So Amy's our beautiful chef and naturopath who has a great focus on doing it through your diet. So she's going to look at xenoestrogens, which are in our packaging and in some of our food, and the impact they have on men and women.
Wow.
Yeah, so just how these things are actually impacting
like
our hormones.
plastic bottles and things like that.
Yeah, so we all know that we should have glass bottles or not plastic, but maybe not how important that is. And so she's going to look at where some of these things are happening from our diet and what we can do to prevent it, or to what we can eat to make our diet a wee bit kinder to our livers and kinder to our hormones. So that will be really good.
And then we've got Mike talking about men's issues. So if you've got a man in your life, or
you are a man in your life.
Or you are a man. Yep. Watch the show next week, because that's where you can ask all of these amazing questions. I'm just checking the news feed. Raju just said 650 million men in India.
Perfect.
That's a tiring thing to engage everyone. But you know what, Raja? You're the guy to do it. So send them all a shout out, because I'm sure you know all of them, because you're very social. So send them all a message and invite them to the show. Okay, I think we've covered everything. We've just got one more graphic to share with you, and this is a great picture for those of you who are watching your life slide into that whirlwind of menopause. You're going through it, you've been through it, you'll understand this picture from one of our women. We haven't got it?
Well, that's all right.
It's a picture of Xena Warrior Princess, who you may have seen, who is yelling actually. And it's basically said, this is what PMS looks like, or this is what menopause looks like. A very angry, yelly lady.
She is not happy.
Not happy at all. Well, perhaps we'll share that one with you guys next week.
We'll put it on Health Bites.
Oh, we'll put it in the group. That's a great idea.
If you want to see it,
so true.
in the group.
And remember, if you want to join that group, you can do just in the search engine on Facebook. Just type in Health Bites, and you just click to join, and either Lynette or myself will approve you to be part of that group, and that's where you can share your questions, your concerns. There are health professionals in that group who can help you out if you've got any challenges with your health or friends or family. We're there to help. Well, it's time for us to go. A big thank you to everybody involved with the show. Thank you, Lynette, for being on the couch and sharing your incredible wisdom about this amazing, huge topic.
It is huge.
Also, a big thanks to the people at South Pacific College of Natural Medicine, who are the chief sponsor of this show. It's wonderful to have you on board. And also, if you want to get in touch with anybody at the Power Clinic, there's their details, or My Remedy. Just have a look at those details. Check out their websites. There's a huge amount of information on both websites with the Power Clinic. If you're considering even becoming a natural medicine practitioner, you can do that by finding out the details there on their website. So thank you so much for joining us. And remember, thanks for watching. You can be part of the show by, sending us your questions. Do that in the group. We want to know what you want to see. We've got some incredible topics coming up in the future, including topics like diabetes. So do keep watching, and you can be part of that show. Share it with your friends. Share it onto your timeline, because we're here to spread the message of natural medicine, that a diagnosis is not enough. It's about being able to treat those symptoms or treat those causes and help you find your way back to living and feeling great again. That's what Health Bites is all about. So thanks for watching. Thanks, Lynette. Thanks to Pete, our producer and technical guy behind the camera tonight. And we look forward to seeing you here. 7 p.m. Monday, New Zealand time. It's all here. It's Health Bites. Ka kite anō. See you next week.
Bye-bye.